Hello, welcome back to your mat. Today we're going to work through a little bit of spine care. So we're going to give our spine some love and we're going to move it through all its different directions. So for today's class, you don't need any props. We're going to start seated, so if you like to sit up on something like a block or a blanket or a pillow, go ahead and grab that. Otherwise, no props are needed and we'll get started right away. So if you would seek health, look first to the spine, and that's Socrates. So the health of our spine is obviously very important. It affects everything else. So we're going to do a little bit of movement through all of the different directions that it can go. And we're going to start seated, then we'll do in all fours, and then we'll come standing. So we're going to do that in all those different configurations. So we're going to start seated. I'm going to turn sideways here to make this a little easier. And all we're going to do is we're going to stretch our arms up overhead. We're going to get a nice long stretch here through the spine. So now we're coming straight up from our hips and get a nice long straight spine. And then exhale. Now we're going to fold forward. So now we're giving ourselves folding that spine forward here. And then come on up. And then you're going to bring your hands behind you, and we're going to open up the chest and give our spine an opening that way, so the opposite direction. Take a nice inhale there, and an exhale. And then I'm going to turn back on the side of the mat. Now you can stay the way you could stay facing on your mat however you'd like to, but I'm going to turn so you can see. And get nice and tall here, and we're going to stretch out to the side now. So we're going to stretch our spine over to the side. So bring your right hand out to the right, and the left arm up overhead. You get a nice side stretch, and you're stretching your spine to the side. And then let's do the other side. Make sure you breathe here throughout. Left hand is down, right arm is up. Come back up. We're going to stretch those arms back up overhead. Really reach like you're getting taller, coming out of your hips. Your spine is growing longer. Take a nice inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to twist to the right. So go ahead and bring that right hand behind you, left hand to your right knee, twist to the right. Now we're bringing our spine into a twist here. You want to have a nice, tall, straight spine for this when you twist. And then come back to center and go ahead and rise those arms up overhead. Take a nice, deep inhale, stretch, stretch, stretch. And then exhale and twist to the left. Left hand behind you, right hand to your left knee. Nice straight spine here, the best you can. Give yourself a nice twist. And then we'll come back to center. From here, we're going to go to all fours. And we're going to do some of those same movements, but now on all fours. So we'll come into all fours. We have a nice neutral spine here. Wrists underneath of your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. And then we're going to inhale, and we're going to arch that lower back and look up. And then we're going to exhale and round it. So now we're going to kind of fold in here a bit on ourselves and have a nice domed back here. Inhale, arch that lower back, look up. Exhale, round it in, get a nice dome there. Let's go another round. Inhale, look up, arch, and exhale, round in. Now we're going to do what is called dog wagging its tail. So we're going to give ourselves a little bit of a side stretch here also to stretch the spine sideways. So you're just going to, almost like a dog wagging its tail, but we're going to do it in slow motion. So we're going to turn our head and turn our hips over here to the left. So my head is looking back toward my hips to the left, and my hips are kind of coming around as if I was trying to like chase my tail and actually try to get my tail. Don't worry about exactly what it looks like. You just give yourself a little twist here, or not really a twist, but a little side here, side stretch. And then we'll go the other way. So same idea, look over that right shoulder and bring that right hip as if you were trying to, again, catch your own tail, I guess I could say. And then bring it back to center. I don't know if I described that very well, but hopefully you get the idea. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and come standing. And we're going to do some of that same stuff, but standing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to face the front edge of my mat. Again, face however you'd like. We're just gonna stand with our feet about hip width apart, or maybe a little bit wider, especially if your hamstrings are a bit tight, because we're not using any props for today. And we're gonna inhale and rise those arms up overhead and really stretch and get long and tall. We're trying to have a nice neutral but long spine here. So stretch up as if you were reaching for the sky or the ceiling. And then exhale, hinge at your hips, and now we're gonna fold forward. You can have a bend in your knees, you can have a big bend in your knees, you can have your legs straight. Really dangling here, though. You're like allowing your body to dangle forward from your hips, and letting your spine really stretch forward here in a nice forward fold. Then we're going to come back up. Going to stretch those arms up overhead again. Nice neutral spine. And now, if you like, you can give yourself a slight back bend here. So you're just going to bend back just a little bit. We're not going to go crazy here. We're not trying to overdo it, but you're getting yourself a little stretch going the opposite direction. And release those hands down. And now we're going to just do some side stretches here, very much like we did seated. So go ahead and rise. I'm going to turn so you can see better here, but you can stay the way you were. Rise the hands up overhead. Really get yourself a nice stretch. So we're got a nice long neutral spine here. Stretch, get yourself tall here. Feel yourself getting taller. And I'm 5'4", so I'm always looking for a couple extra inches. So I'm really hoping to stretch out a little bit here. Grab that left wrist, and we're going to side bend to the right. So now we're bringing the spine over into a side bend here. Come back up, grab that right wrist with your left hand, and side bend to the left. Then we'll come all the way back up, and now we're going to come down to lie on our backs. So let's first start out with a nice easy back bend here. We're going to come into bridge pose. So go ahead and place the soles of your feet on the ground. Your hands are next to along your sides here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and lift those hips up off the ground. Keep your knees pointed up, not letting them splay out or in. So this is a mild back bend. You are moving the spine, and especially if you really kind of puff that chest up a little bit, you can get the shoulder blades underneath of you a little bit more. You'll really get more of a back bending effect here. And then go ahead and drop those hips down. We're going to hug our knees in as if we were kind of folding in on ourselves a bit here. We're just bringing the legs in. And we're going to drop both of our knees over to the right for a nice little spinal twist, a supine spinal twist. Left arm out to the side. Your head can be in any direction. It can be either looking to the left, straight up. You decide what feels best on you. Inhale, hug those knees back into your chest, and now drop them both over to the left. Spinal twist to the left, and the little right arm is out to the right, and my head, I'm gazing out over to my right here. But you can also look straight up if that's better on your neck. So choose what fits you best. And then hug your knees into your chest. And now we're going to end with a neutral spine. So after we've got the knees hugged in, we're going to just bring our legs out on the mat and just stay here for just a brief moment to feel yourself in this nice, as if we were standing, but now we're lying down. So we have our spine is a nice neutral spine. And if you'd like, you could stretch your arms up overhead to really give yourself a little length there to grow a little taller. Stretch the feet out. And then go ahead and roll over to one side. Prop yourself back up. Come back to a seat. And I hope that you enjoyed this short but sweet little class to kind of move your spine in all different directions. You could do this every morning if you like. It's short enough. And it's really going to make a big impact on your life and on your day, because it's going to help warm everything up and give it a little lubrication and moving. So we moved overhead with stretching out with a nice neutral spine. We folded forward. We brought ourselves back in the opposite direction. We went side to side and we did some twists. So we moved the spine in all the directions that it's capable of doing. Thank you for joining me, and until next time.